Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another election prediction. This time we have Senator Bernie Sanders of the state of Vermont up against former President Donald Trump. So, the only way Bernie Sanders runs here is if Biden declines to run for re election. He goes against his decision he's already made for health reasons or something like that. Sanders has indicated he would give a presidential run heavy thought and he would probably consider it. I think it would be like a 60% chance he would probably end up running if Biden declines to run. So it's in the realm of possibility. This isn't an impossible scenario to happen. But again, it's quite unlikely as of right now because Sanders already endorsed Biden in the Democratic primary. So let's get on with the first few safe states. So Colorado, of course, would be a safe state. It's a very progressive state. Sanders would do extremely well in Colorado. He'd also do pretty well in New Mexico. He did a lot better with the Latino voters in the primary than Joe Biden did. So overall, I think that would definitely translate into the general election. I think we could see Sanders doing a lot better with Latino voters, as long as it isn't a state like Florida or so, or Texas, which has a lot more conservative Latino voters as well. But talking about those states, I think Florida would probably be a likely Republican state. You don't see Cuban voters getting on well with Bernie Sanders' messaging. He proclaims himself as a democratic socialist, and the socialist word has a bad taste in the mouth with a lot of Cubans, so I don't think he'd do amazing in Florida, and I think he would struggle a little bit. Maybe we'd get a bit more Latino turnout on his side in Texas, but again, there's a lot of conservative Latinos here, and there's a lot of moderate independent voters who may not want to vote for Sanders because of how left wing he is on economics. So I think that would kind of make Florida and Texas both likely Republican states. Alaska would probably be safe Republican as well, just because of Bernie Sanders' policy on green energy. He would probably be against fracking and try to limit oil drilling. So that would probably cause a lot of Alaskan voters to vote against him in the state of Alaska. In Iowa and Ohio, again, with Sanders being so populist, I think he would do a lot better than Joe Biden would in both of these states. I could see Iowa, it's probably still a likely Republican state, but he gets it down to only a 5 point Trump victory. And to the state of Ohio, I think he'd even get down to a 4 point Trump victory. I think he would do that well with those populist voters here in this state. But still, it's a very Republican state. Bernie Sanders certainly wouldn't flip Ohio just because of how it's trending a lot more Republican, but he would definitely reverse the clock on its trends here, just with the types of policies he supports and his populist messaging. In Maine and New Hampshire, I think both these states Sanders would do extremely well, and he'd probably win Maine at large by like 13 points, 12 points or so. He would probably easily win New Hampshire. Again, he's from Vermont here, so he had a bit of a New England advantage. Plus, he would do well with a lot of those more independent voters, independent type of voters, and more typically more populist here, especially in Maine's second. I think he could get that margin down by quite a bit, but I still think Trump has a slight advantage there by like a 2 points or so against Bernie Sanders. Okay, in Virginia, I think Sanders would definitely underperform Biden by a bit here. He'd probably only win the state by 6 points against Donald Trump so far. In Nebraska, second, he would underperform Biden by a bit just with the moderate types of voters. That same kind of reasoning for Virginia. Just those independents might go against him just because of how left wing he is on the economics. In the southern states like North Carolina, I think this state would probably go against him. Same with Georgia as well. I don't think he would do the best with those moderate types of voters here because, again, these guys typically don't like someone so left wing on economics. They're not like the Rust Belt states here, which actually like left wing economics here and they like populist policies. These states tend to not be as populist, North Carolina and Georgia. Plus, again, Sanders kind of struggles with African American voters. He really struggled with in both primaries he ran in. I could see that translating into the general election, lower turnout among them. In Nevada and Arizona, I think Nevada would quite easily win just because he did very well with Latino voters in the Democratic primary. He would definitely win over them. Plus, with Trump's messaging on the issue of abortion, I think they'll definitely lose him in the state of Nevada. Him bragging about getting Roe v. Wade overturned because he appointed the Supreme Court justices that did it. That wouldn't really work that well in a very, very pro-choice state. It's so pro-choice, in fact, that the Republican governor here is pretty much pro-choice at this point. So, because he knows that's how you have to win Nevada. That's how pro-choice it is. In the state of Arizona, they just hate Trump so much in this state that even though Sanders is a populist and that might lose him some moderate voters, Democrats are making a lot of gains in Arizona every month in voter registration. So someone like Sanders, he could totally win in Arizona, and he would probably do better than by Latino voters in Arizona as well, which is why I'm going to be narrowly giving a tilt victory to Bernie Sanders here in Arizona against Donald Trump. So in the Rust Belt states, Minnesota, I think, is probably going to be a fairly likely state in Sanders' column. I think he could outperform Biden here in the state of Minnesota, and I also think he definitely outperforms Biden in the state of Michigan. I think he probably improves on Biden's margins by quite a bit here. He'd probably get a lot more populist support in the state of Michigan. But I think he'll probably win the state by 4%, I would say, against Donald Trump. But in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, again, with Sanders' better margin with populist voters, I could totally see that working out in Wisconsin, and I could totally see that working out in Pennsylvania, just giving him, I would say, a 2-point victory in Wisconsin, a 2-point victory, probably 3-point victory in Pennsylvania, a 2.5% victory in Wisconsin, and a 4% victory in Michigan. I really think that a candidate like Fetterman, who is actually quite similar to Bernie Sanders in the issue, he nearly won the state of Pennsylvania by 5 points here. So again, you could be pretty left-wing in economics on these states and do actually pretty well here. They do like those types of policies. They're more populist-oriented as well. But I think the popular vote probably goes in favor of Sanders by 3% in this video or so. But at the end of this video, I just wanted to say I would very much appreciate it if you were to subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm interested to read your comments, and just want to see your takes on this prediction. Did I get this one right or wrong? Let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one.